What's going on, Star Wars fans? Welcome to Star Wars Doctrine, where we discuss everything there is to talk about in our favorite galaxy far, far away. Star Wars over the years has had, some incredible writing, and also lots of people who have picked apart different pieces of the writing. And one thing that Star Wars has done really good about anytime that there's a plot hole or something that people take issue with that maybe doesn't seem to add up, usually they, are able to fill in those gaps through comics, through different books, even movies like Rogue One, and fill in these things that could possibly be plot holes. I wouldn't even necessarily call them plot holes, but just maybe weaker points of the writing. And one of them that I've always found really interesting is that Captain Bolvin in Episode 4, A New Hope, chooses to not fire on the escape pod that C3PO and R2D2 are on, which ultimately has the Death Star plans on it, which is what they're looking for. He says, hold your fire, there's no life forms, it must have just short-circuited. And a lot of people have taken issue with that over the years, wondering, well, if you're searching the ship, why wouldn't you just say better safe than sorry and take the shot and just make sure? Especially since droids weren't necessarily uncommon in the Star Wars galaxy. So I always found this really interesting. And from a certain point of view, is a novel that has 40 different stories, short stories in it, from different points of view of people in the Star Wars universe. And it actually has a story in there about Captain Bolvin and from his point of view, why he decided not to make that decision to fire upon the escape pod. And it was really interesting. He starts to get nervous in the story because he realizes that we've gone through almost the entire ship. The Death Star plans have not been found. Maybe they really were on that escape pod, and, maybe there just wasn't any humans. They just launched them down to maybe retrieve them later or something. So he starts to get really worried, and he actually goes to a logistics officer named Arvira, and he is explaining to her that he needs help trying to cover up his tracks so that Vader doesn't kill him when he finds out he decided not to shoot the escape pod down. And he explains from his point of view why he made the call not to. And his official title is Gunnery Captain, so he was kind of captain over the guns. And his excuse, or I should say his reasoning behind not wanting to just fire upon it, was because gunnery captains were often, their shot-to-kill ratios were recorded. So every shot that they took, their efficiency was recorded on if they were making a wise shot, if they did damage with that shot, if they killed someone with that shot. And the shot-to-kill ratios were tied directly to promotions for gunnery officers. So if he wanted to move up in the ranks, wasting a shot on an escape pod would essentially go against his kill ratio because he wouldn't be making a kill with that shot. And therefore his effectiveness scoring would go down. And so in his quick thinking, he decided it wasn't worth hurting his shot-to-kill ratio, which obviously in the end he realizes, if the Death Star plans are on that, they probably would have forgiven me for my shot-to-kill ratio. But nonetheless, in the moment, he was more worried about statistics because he wanted a promotion. So I thought that was a really cool way for them to kind of go over their tracks and say, well, this is the reason that he did it, because he didn't want to look like he was an idiot just wasting shots and look bad to his superiors. So he ends up being able to work out a plan with this logistics officer who helps him kind of divert the attention elsewhere so that he can kind of cover up his steps so that Vader doesn't end up blaming him for the escape pod escaping, and he ends up kind of getting away, it sounds like, and the story doesn't necessarily tell you his fate, but it does sound like that he's able to get away with it. So I just thought it was a really cool thing that would have been worth sharing with you guys. Hope you're having an amazing week. As always, may the Force be with you. Don't forget to like and subscribe because
it is your destiny.